Welcome back everyone to today's second video, and we're going to be doing the ECMWF 42-day forecast. So this will take us all the way up to the start of March. It's quite interesting, and we're going to be seeing if this latest warming in the stratosphere has been classed as an SSW now, so sudden stratospheric warming will actually put any effects on our weather and how long it will take. So without further ado, we are just going to get straight into this. So let's go. So the current situation, at the moment, we have got them southwesterly winds starting to push in, but that is the current situation. So this is week 1. This is the 22nd of January to the 29th of January. Already nearly at the end of January. How quick has that gone? Very, very quick. So we've got high pressure placed just to the south of the country here. We've got low pressure out in the Atlantic and towards Greenland and Iceland, and we're dragging the wind up from a very, a milder southwesterly direction, but it won't be overly mild at the moment as the air to the south is not that warm. That's the temperatures for week 1. Let's go and have a look what the precipitation looks like. So the precipitation looks a bit like this. So once again, for the north and the west of the country, we do look wet really, and then for more southern parts of the country, maybe a little bit drier. And once again, a lot of Europe, southern Europe, are looking quite dry. As you can see, Scandinavia looking quite wet, and Iceland looking a bit more wetter than average, and parts of the east maybe going a little bit drier over there. But really, it's quite unsettled for a lot of places for week 1. Now the temperature looks like this. So the temperature is actually going milder than average for most of Europe, as you can see. Look at the temperatures up in Scandinavia, which were having a very, very very cold stage at the moment. It looks like it's gonna really disintegrate. So the milder areas, most of Europe. If you want to find some colder air, you do have to go out into the Atlantic or out into the far east of Europe. So that's week 1 done. Let's see what week 2 is gonna get in store for us. So here's week 2. This is the 29th to the 5th of February, 29th of January to the 5th of February, and we're looking like this. So maybe hints that the high pressure is trying to get going towards Scandinavia up here, and that could bring us easterly winds down with this low pressure pushing in. But at the moment, with this, it just looks like we are going to be fairly mild, especially for Scotland. But for parts of southern areas, we could start to see a bit more frosty and fog and frost, with the winds maybe wrapping around that high pressure into sort of an easterly direction. But once again, it does look quite mild. But it is a signal of a little bit of blocking. So precipitation looks like this. So drier for most of the country except from Scotland, as you can see. Maybe a little bit of precipitation up there. Once again, a lot of Europe is drier than average. Once again, we have to go all the way up to Scandinavia to see a lot of precipitation, as you can see, and the far east to see any sort of precipitation, or up to Iceland and Greenland to see much really. It won't be completely dry, but it will be drier than average. So it doesn't mean it's going to be completely dry. Temperatures look like this. So once again, same old story really. Very, very, look how above average temperatures are getting over Scandinavia up there now. Once again, we have got to go all the way to the far east of Europe to get anything that is really a bit colder than average. We are looking very, very above average for Spain, Portugal, France, Germany, Netherlands, the UK. We're all looking quite above average temperatures, so looking a bit different than what we have been seeing for week 2 as well. Now week 3, is there going to be a change? 5th to the 12th of February. Here we go. Yeah, maybe a little bit of a change. Looks like high pressure's trying to get towards Greenland and Iceland up here, and it's probably bringing the wind from a bit more of a northwesterly direction with that, um, instead of a westerly, because the westerly winds will probably be um, like that, but because this high pressure up here is trying to get going, it's probably a little bit more northwesterly, so a little bit cooler, but it still looks quite dry. Maybe off Scandinavia it is turning colder again with the low pressure getting back in place over there. Precipitation looks like this. Once again, same old story, quite dry for large areas of Europe, all the way up into Norway, Sweden, all the way down into the far south, down here, and up Scandinavia, maybe a little bit above average precipitation once again, but everywhere is quite dry once again. Scotland could see precipitation, but fairly dry for most areas once again. Temperatures for week 3 looks like this. Once again, mild and average, but it will be going cooler, I would think, under that high pressure. So don't take that too seriously. But once again, look at that area of it's very, very, very mild, really. We have to go all the way up to Greenland to find something that's not actually above average temperatures, and even Scandinavia looks quite mild as well. All the way down to the far southeast, we might be going a little bit below average, but it does look once again quite mild for week 3 as well. Okay, week 4, this is the 12th of February to the 19th of February. We're looking like this. So maybe going a bit cooler with this. We've got high pressure looking like it's getting going over Scandinavia and Iceland, and we're getting the wind in from a cooler northwesterly direction. So this looks like what we had about a week or two ago, where we started to get that high pressure north, but it was still sitting over the country and we were quite dry. But looks like the cold's going to start getting going over here again with that them northerly winds pushing down there. If we have a look at the precipitation, we look like this. Once again, dry for most of the UK, as you can see. Maybe a bit more precipitation for the north and northern areas and northern England, Scotland. Looking round average for Scandinavia. Many areas are quite dry. Once again, though, as you can see, not really much going on with that. Temperatures for week 4 look like this, so it looks like we're getting a bit colder over Scandinavia, but there's not much signal. But I would expect us to be a bit colder there. I don't think that is completely accurate. I think the milder air will be over here, sort of over there, and I would think that it will be colder air around there somewhere. So I would be thinking there's probably colder air for areas on that side of the ridge, and there'll probably be milder air on that side of the ridge there. So I don't think that is completely accurate, but once again, it just depends where that high pressure ends up. But I do think that that's probably not that accurate, so don't take that seriously. But that is the temperatures for week 4. Now week 5, the 19th of February to the 26th of February 2024 looks like this. So once again, we're just on the periphery. Over Europe, we've got extremely cold air probably sitting over here at this point. All it would take is high pressure to go up there, and then the beast from the east would be unleashed. But we are on the edge once again, bringing that them winds around that area of high pressure. But I think we will be quite cool with that, probably getting quite cold as we are into February as well. Not really much signal, maybe a bit dry for the south, wet for the north, not really much signal. Can't say much about that. Week 5 temperatures look like this, so yeah, there is a signal that we are going to be a little bit around average, but I think we will be a little bit colder than average with that. And you can see the cold is getting going over parts of Europe now, so that would be right. There's definitely going to be cold air widely in areas over here. There's definitely going to be cold air with that ridge of high pressure getting up towards Greenland. There's definitely colder air there. The milder air will be to the west of that high pressure. So let's see what week 6, the final week's looking like. So this is the 26th of February to the 4th of March. Once again, it looks like that high pressure is going to be sitting up towards Greenland and Iceland. The wind's going to be coming round that high pressure like that, so it probably would be cool once again. So as we go into precipitation for week 6, we like that. So not much signal really, maybe a bit drier to the west, but not really much there for week 6. And the temperatures. And that was that one. That was that one. The temperatures is about the same. Probably would be a bit colder as that ridge will be bringing the winds down from the north. Okay, that's everything for today's second video. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.